Hi everyone, this is Karan. In this video, we will discuss one of the major pillar of OOPS, that is modularity. Now, modularity, as such, we don't have more coding, but it is important to discuss because that is which makes developers to develop code or to read the code whoever it wants to. Now, we'll start it by its definition. What is modularity? Process of dividing complex system into small modules is called modularity. Now, modularity, everything surrounds around this definition. Complex system into small modules. I hope you guys have got an idea. Now, let's move further by questioning why do we need Java modularity? Now, suppose guys, if I write thousands and thousands lines of code and give it to you, what will happen? No, it will not only be helpless to you, it will create a chaos to me, it's to me also. So what is the solution? Divide that thousand lines of code into smaller modules by creating packages, by creating .java files, by creating .jar files, and so on. Because one single .java file, creating one single .java file and writing thousands lines of code, and instead dividing those thousand line of codes into smaller modules, into packages, into .jar files, into .java files. Now guys, you tell me which will be a better option. Obviously, if you go if you go by dividing the complex system, this thousand line of codes, into smaller modules, the modularity defines the same. Here your modularity helps you to divide the code, and this process of dividing the code into smaller modules is called modularity. And that's it, it's nothing else. Yes, now let's go through modularity point wise. Modularity is a great concept. Obviously, in software, it applies to writing and implementing a program or computing system as a number of unique modules rather than as a single monolithic design. Didn't I say, guys? Writing a single monolithic design, that is, writing a single .java file with thousands lines of code, thousand line of code, but and writing code by dividing those thousand line of codes into different packages and .java files. The second option obviously will be a better one. Now, a standardized interface is then used to enable the modules to communicate. Now, as I said, we have packages, we have Java files, jar files. Now these are the standards. These are the standards to interface, to communicate between these modules. Because some standards, some or the other person has to define it, and whoever has designed this OOPS concept has also designed an interface to communicate, a standardized interface. Now, partitioning an environment of software constructs into distinct modules helps us minimize coupling, optimize application development, and reduce system complexity. Now, obviously, the complexity will be which will be reduced to a greater extent, no doubt, but also it helps us minimize coupling. Guys, if you don't know what is coupling, let me tell you, there is a tight coupling and a loose coupling. Now by dividing the code, we can achieve loose coupling. And tight coupling is what? If you change code in one file, and because of changing a code in that one file, you need to change a code on all the dependent files. That is called tight coupling. But what is loose coupling? If you change code in one file and you don't need to change the code in the dependent files, then you don't need to, then that is called as loose coupling. Hence we can achieve loose coupling by using modularity. Now coming to the next point, modularity enables programmers to do functionality testing in isolation and engage in parallel development efforts during a given sprint or object. Now, guys, we can test the functionality by, I mean, we can separately test one by one .java files, or we can test one by one package if you want to. So this is called functionality testing. I mean, if you want to test a project, you don't need to run the whole program if you want to test one single .java file, or if you want to check one package. So functionality testing feature is provided by using modularity. This increases efficiency throughout the entire software development cycle. Now, how it increases the efficiency? Obviously, it will reduce your time. It will, if you start debugging, you will get to know, yes, here is the error. You will find errors very quickly. You will you will not waste your time searching the code, you will not waste your time finding the errors and so on. Hence automatically it increases the efficiency. Now in the code, let's talk in the code, how modularity exactly works. By these 2 points explains the same. Using package and jar file libraries, we can achieve modularity. Now using modularity, we can minimize module dependency as I said. Let me open STS and just show you packages, jar files and so on and so forth, so that you can get a brief idea. Anyone guys, if you don't understand, do watch the video again. I understand that in the first go no one will understand up to the mark, up to that extent. So you need to watch the video again and write down your notes, jot down the points, important points. Yes, now we have oops project, the project name with oops under, and we have divided code. JRE system library, you can see .jar files under JRE system library. So this is one library. Under SRC folder we have a folder again. Under SRC folder we have again divided uh, into two packages, that is abstraction and encapsulation. Under abstraction we have test.java file, and in encapsulation we have two .java files, that is a.java and encaptest.java. So this is all about modularity. I hope you guys have got an idea about modularity. In the further videos we will discuss about the remaining OOPS concept. Thank you very much.